Hey guys, Asher Race Legends. Welcome to the video. Sending some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there today. Today we're going to take a look at Glaicad of the Meltwater. I'll pronounce it at least one time right in today's video. Before we get into the guide today, I was so pumped when I pulled this champion, man. This guy's a beast. I want to give a few shouts to you guys. Even though we changed the channel name here, I still will have guides, and I will take your requests for these champion guides. So, Ella Gumerdo, listen, my pronunciations, it's never been my strong suit, but shout out. Sicarlis, yeah, shout out. We have Jermaine, I can do that. No, Glaicad, yes, Glaicad. Greg, Ash, my man, could you do a Glaicad video? Not much content on this awesome champ. We got a Glaicad from I'm Chunky, Chunky Crunch. Oh, did a Crunchy Chunky rebrand just like yours truly? We get He's Not Phantom. Glaicad, my favorite champ right now. I use him in Impulse and Relentless. Ooh, I love that build. That's not how we build him today, but that is one of my favorite builds out there for any support in the game. So really good shout out there. We have Yesin looking for some Glaicad. We have Chris Bear. We have Occult Prepper. We've got Reload Thunder. We've got Shock again. A lot of requests for this champion. Well, dang, that was a long intro, but thank you to all you guys again for keeping the champion guide requests coming in the comments below. Let's jump into it. All right, so this dude who I clearly cannot pronunciate his name at all. It's not that hard, right? It's not Glaicad of the Meltwater. He looks pretty cool. He certainly fits the Slyvan Watcher aesthetic. Slyvan Watcher has a few really, really top-tier revivers, and he is certainly no exception. First of all, he's tanky. Second of all, 112 base speed. I love his defense over 1350 and the HP over 21k. Again, very tanky and very fast. You gotta love it. He has speed in all battles on his aura by 19% as well. So the stats, the aura, oh, I'm loving him so far. We haven't even gotten to his regular kit. His Boreal Bolt, his A1 ability, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance when booked of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. If the target has 50% HP or less, this debuff cannot be resisted. This is certainly viable for Fire Knight Hard with the freeze for control on the A1, or a little bit of control sprinkled in wherever you want to use this dude. On the A2, Meltwater Cloak. Ooh, what a nasty ability. 4-turn cooldown, increase attack, perfect veil on all allies except this champion. You do want to book this dude. We want to get that perfect veil up to 100%. It's a huge part of his kit. And then turn meter fill of all allies by 15%. Very similar to Duchess's A2 ability. We have turn meter fill instead of the block debuffs here on this ability. I love the increase attack setup. I mean, the whole ability is great, specifically for Hydra, certainly for the arena. As a turn meter booster, he's actually fast enough to be a turn meter booster on his base speed and have that 15% boost and the protection and the setup for attack-based nukers in the arena. However, in the end game, we're really looking for 20, ideally 30% on that turn meter boost, so he could even be a second to go champion inside the arena. On the A3, Lifestream. This is his just insane revive here. It's a 4-turn cooldown on an AoE revive. That's exceptionally good. Revives all dead allies, 40% HP, 25% turn meter. That is exceptionally bad. It's not a strong revive because of the survivability. It's a strong revive because of all the rest. The cooldown, plus the increased accuracy, increased defense, 3-turn duration on a 4-turn cooldown. That's beautiful. And these buffs will be placed even if no allies were revived. This is fantastic. Normally, we don't like that. The increased speed on Mighty Ukko's A3 ability, his revive, we don't like that because we don't want to have the revive off cooldown. But the cool thing about this skill is great buffs, obviously, to have. But if no allies were revived by this skill, it gets him an extra turn. That's going to allow us to keep the increased defense and the increased accuracy on all allies pretty much all the time because of the uptime. It's 3-turn duration on all allies, and ostensibly it's on a 3-turn cooldown because he gets the extra turn. He's able to get back around to this ability faster, even faster than the 4-turn cooldown when he's not reviving, which is excellent. If he is reviving, even better. His passive, Thaw Might. Allies under Perfect Veil placed by this champion deal 10% more damage. Ooh, that's nasty. This game has evolved, in a sense, to the protection sets, the feral sets, and any damage escalation that we can get from any champion is just so incredibly strong. Everything stacks, and having that 10% extra damage is great. Moreover, we can actually get back to the Meltwater Cloak because of the extra turn mechanic a little bit faster in his kit as well. So the Perfect Veil is on our allies a little bit longer than champions like, say, Duchess or Rector Draft, somebody like that. And we get the damage boost on top of that. So Perfect Veil, normally, it's going to give them a cloak where they can't be single targeted. And they also get 15% AoE damage mitigation. A regular Veil is going to be a 7.5% AoE damage mitigation. But a Perfect Veil against AoE attacks is, again, similar. It's the same thing in terms of mitigation of damage as a weak version of Strengthen. So, man, just great synergy in the kit. Beautiful champion. I love this dude. He's so good. He's really one of the top revivers in the game. I've been saying that long before I had him, and he did not disappoint. So let's go ahead and pull him up here. So I have a 1-star Awaken. We'll talk about the blessing options in just one moment here. But I do think the best build for Glaicad of the Meltwater is a 9-piece protection. It's pretty obvious. He's got 2 buffs, and he's got 2 more buffs, right? That's going to be 4 buffs. Thus, 20% more damage for each buff placed by the wearer on all allies. That synergizes so beautifully with the Perfect Veil, so we could get 30% extra damage, provided they're under the Perfect Veil and the rest of his buffs. That is so good. That is so incredibly juicy anywhere in the game. I really love the 9-piece protection. Now, I'm very well aware that, you know, these accessories can be very RNG and very difficult to get 3 of in any faction. I would still run this dude in probably a 6-piece protection set, even if I didn't have the 9-piece. I'd run him in the arena in a 4-piece protection set, in probably a 4-piece stone skin set. If you're going to use him in the arena, and I want to be clear here, Glaicad is maybe an A-tier arena champion, but he's not S-tier endgame meta. I've not run 1,900 live arena season battles in the last 2 months, and I haven't run into Glaicad once inside top 100. So he's not like a super endgame meta, but he's pretty damn good, right? Like, you could definitely run him as a curveball. Now, I do tend to prefer, I mean, the analogies between him or comparisons in Duchess, I mean, it's obvious. Their kits are very similar. So, in one way, it's not really fair to compare because they're quite different as well in some regard, but there's so many similarities that we almost have to. The first thing that nobody really mentions, though, is 9 extra speed with the turn meter boost on Glaicad, right? I mean, that's huge. The rest of the stats, a little bit more HP, a little bit more defense on Duchess and Glaicad respectively, right? But man, the fact that he brings the extra turn and the extra damage on the passive, I like Glaicad better in PvE content over a Duchess. You're sacrificing the block debuffs and a little bit of survivability with the Ethereal Ways. Decreased damage taken by all allies on AoE attacks by 25% or 15% when going against bosses. I still prefer Duchess in the arena over Glaicad because of the Ethereal Ways passive, right? Like, that's really strong. And again, it synergizes with the Perfect Veil to give you AoE attack mitigation. Sorry to make this a Duchess show here, but a little side tangent. I mean, we're getting a 40% AoE damage mitigation when she has the Perfect Veil plus the Ethereal Ways. That's insane. So I still prefer Duchess in the arena, but everywhere else, I think I would probably give a very slight nod to Glaicad. Now, that is being said with the caveat that if you just need survivability, need to clear content for the very first time, maybe Duchess is your gal. The block debuff is super strong, and that mitigation can be very nice. But man, I mean, I love that we get these 2 buffs here with the extra turn, with that uptime, 3-turn duration. Really nice, really nice. Okay. So, 9-piece protection. I want to pull him up on hellhades.com. They give him a 4.5 out of 5. Man, give the man a 5. Give the man a 5. Nah, I'm okay with the grade here. They give him a 4.5 in the arena. Eternal Dragon. Here's the weird thing, though. Like Dark Fae, he gets a 2-star. I mean, he's not a Dark Fae specialist, per se, but he still can be a fantastic champion in Dark Fae, right? He can be a revive. I mean, we already know his kit, right? So some areas are difficult like that. Fire Knight Normal, he's a 2-star. Fire Knight Hard, he's a 4-star. I think he's still great in Fire Knight Normal as well. He's a 2-time hitter, good support for your team, right? Hydra, 5 out of 5. Doom Tower Waves, a 5 out of 5. He's amazing in waves. He can synergize with Seer beautifully to just absolutely delete those waves, right? Basically, anywhere you're progressing, you can use this dude, right? He's really freaking good. Okay, what was I going to show? Oh, other gear set recommendations, right? So they say speed, protection, relentless, and perception. Perception will only benefit the freeze on the A1. So if you're hoping to land the freeze on the A1, certainly viable set. But I do want to give a shout out. I forgot who it was in the comments. I forgot your name. But whoever suggested Relentless, I mean, he does have the extra turn mechanic anyway, but I like maybe even throwing in a little impulse in there, right, if you have the gear. For the arena, they recommend Stone Skin, Bolster, Protection, Speed, or Supersonic. Actually, all of those sets could be viable on this dude. There's no doubt about it. I would probably build him for the arena in a 6-piece Stone Skin, right? Like that's the direction that I would go. That's how I have my Duchess built, in case you guys didn't notice it as well. And I think that just gives him a lot of just hanging around the match to be there to support however you may need, right? Boost, support, the whole 9. All right, so talked about the builds. Stat priorities are fairly easy, right? I built him with as much HP and speed as I could without going totally crazy, right? Not the best gear on my account, but I basically sorted through speed, what I had available, and I threw it on him. One more consideration you can make on your Glaicad, again, if you're going in the arena specifically, is he might not be the worst option to build in Stone Skin with higher resist. Maybe a Stone Skin in a Righteous set could totally be viable on this champion as well. You want to throw a curveball at him? Maybe a Stone Skin in a Relentless set, you know? Okay. So we go in with protection, or again, we're looking for speed. I am looking for a little bit of accuracy. I have 231 on him. Not a lot, but keep in mind, he brings his own increased accuracy. That alleviates kind of the threshold or the floor that you need to nail to land that freeze. Again, going for speed, some resist, and accuracy. I have just shy of 300 resist. It's probably not enough to actually pull off some major resists, but ideally this would be 50% HP, 50% ascension as well, but I'll take the speed on it. I went speed with speed on the boots. I went HP, more survivability. Resistance is fine as well on the banner. I went HP on the amulet and defense on the ring. Cool thing, again, as I mentioned, is both his base defense and his base HP are really high and lend themselves well to scaling. So I don't mind mixing and matching a little bit of HP and defense on this champion, although I would err on the side of preferring HP overall. All right, guys, so his defense is actually kind of low considering shy of 3K. We'd really like that to be closer to 3,500. So that, even despite the fact that I do have, didn't I have some defense? Yeah, I had it on the ring. So yeah, we could stand to get a little bit more there, but it is what it is. I have Journal of Necrotos on him. I love the journal. It gives HP as the main stat, which I love to begin with. But whereas heals, he has no heals, but his turn meter effects applied to allies are boosted by 15%. We can scale that up, so I have an 18% boost on his turn meter effects, which he does have on the A2, so I threw him in a good old journal. Moreover, I threw him with this gemstone. The wearer gains an additional 30 resistance against enemies trying to place CC debuffs on him. A little bit of extra protection there as well. Listen, I only have him 1-star awakened, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again. If you only have 1 star on a champion that has a lot of buffs, or that you want to keep essential buffs, Lightning Cage. Now, he is in protection, so it's a bit redundant to have more protection on our protection. But even a 9-piece protection is a 75%, not 100%, to place protected buffs. So it can still be useful, but it's probably not the best use case. The reason I went Lightning Cage is because I wanted to prove a point here. First of all, even 1-star Awakening, you get 7,500 HP, which is insane. Of course, that's the same on all blessings. But Lightning Cage is one of the best blessings in the game if you only have a 1-star Awakened and you don't know what to do with it. Because Lightning Cage at 1 star, all the way through 4 stars, still gives you a 50% chance to protect a random buff from being stolen, removed, or transferred, right? That's pretty damn good for a 1-star. So again, with a 9-piece protection, it's maybe a little bit redundant, can come in handy, but I think that Lightning Cage is great for any champion that's going to be receiving buffs or protected buffs, just in general at 1-star, right? If you're kind of, borderline, what do I choose? All right, so Masteries, I wanted to hold off on this and do it with you guys, right? So I'm going to be using him primarily in Hydra on my account. At least that's the area that I'm hoping that he shines the most on my specific account. If I was going into the arena, I would absolutely change a lot about this build. So let's go with the general PvE build first. And then let's talk about what I would change for the arena and in some accounts in PvE situations and why I would recommend going with either or. So we're just going to basically, keep it super simple, right? We're going to hug the left-hand side of the offense tree, and that is going to be that. There it is, offense. So on the support side of things, though, it's interesting, right? Because we can't really benefit from any of the other support masteries that we have here in terms of the heals, right? The heals, Healing Savior, Lay on Hands, Merciful Aid. We don't benefit from any of that. But I do want the Steadfast. I want more max HP on my Reviver. He's not casting shields, so we're going to go with Exalt in Death, and then we're going to go with Rapid Response. He brings a lot of buffs, so we'll take all that turn meter increase. It's going to be great. We're also going to go Cycle of Magic to reduce skill cooldowns. That can be helpful if, say, we go with that A3 and then somebody dies right afterwards. We have to get back to it a little bit faster. And, of course, Lasting Gifts. Lasting Gifts is so good on this champion, specifically with 4 buffs, 4 protected buffs, hopefully, that we really want to get those extensions. Imagine a 4-turn increase accuracy, protected, a 4-turn increase defense, protected. Yeah, we'll take Lasting Gifts for sure. This is what prevents me from going down the defense tree because I really want Lasting Gifts on this champion. Now, of course, we get no benefit from Master Hexer, no benefit from Sniper either, but we will take Spirit Haste. He's a reviver. We can absolutely benefit for 8 extra speed for each dead ally. Now's a good time to give a little interlude. If I was going for progression, right, like my team wasn't always surviving, and even Glaicad was dying, right? I still want to go back to calling it Glaicad. I would absolutely go with Timely Intervention, right? Timely Intervention for revivers is so good. So I would go with the same thing on the support tree, but I would end with Timely Intervention. I wouldn't go offense. Instead, I would go Tough Skin Blastproof. I would go Resurgent. I would go Delayed Death. I would go Cycle of Revenge, and I would go Cycle of Revenge. I would go with these two, Spirit Haste and Lasting Gifts over here. So that would be like an all-out support build. Let's see if they have that on hellhades.com. That way you guys can screenshot it. Nope. Reviver? Yes. So it's not exactly the Masteries that I would go with, but it's close enough, right? It's close enough. This would be the all-out Reviver support build to have the ultimate support Reviver on your squad. We're going to go with a little bit of damage, though, because we want to use them in these boss battles. They're going to be longer fights. Okay, let's fill the things out right now. Let's go with Swarm Smiter, increase our accuracy. Let's go with Lord of Steel we can't benefit from, so we might as well go with Eagle Eye, and then we'll go with Charge Focus. So getting a little bit more accuracy for that A1, especially for wave content. There we go, guys. Those are the total stats ending here. And yeah, I think that was a pretty comprehensive view of how we can and or should build this champion. Okay, guys, so I do want to try Hydra, obviously. But first, let's try Ice Golem Hard 10. I have Vrask in there for some healage. I have Frenzy the Cackler in there for the burn application. I have Dark Elhain for some damage. I have Stag Knight for the debuffs. And I have all the buffs we could want and the revives on Glaicad here. So let's see what we can do. Dark Elhain doing her thing. The nice thing is honestly, I tend to flirt with Darkel Haynes' accuracy being a little bit too low. So I love having anybody out there who maybe makes the same mistake. Maybe they don't have quite enough accuracy on all of their damage dealers that they should. Having that increased accuracy in the same way that a Marius benefits the entire team is really, really nice to have. Come to think of it, he does have the similar ability as the A3 of Marius on his revive, which is pretty cool. So anyway, here we go. Go in there. We land the AoE Provoke, which is the A3 of Frenzy the Cackler, getting some nice damage from Dark Elhain. Go in there. We have good old Vrask. It's been a billion years since I've run Vrask here on this channel or my main channel. But still a pretty competent healer. Why do we have Vrask on the team? Because the one thing that Glaicad doesn't have is heals. So having that Vogoth, that Mausoleum Mage, maybe a cleanse and a heal. When we talk about the type of champions that we want to pair along with him in terms of support, we're looking for that. Block debuffs, cleanse, and heals, okay? So Mithrala would be amazing, right, on a team like this as well. She has strengthened to complement his increased defense. So when I talk about supports, when I think about supports on any team, I like to think, okay, what are the buffs that this one champion brings? And what buffs do we need still? Or what ability, when we talk about cleansing and healing, do we need? So again, the shield and the cleanse and the strengthen that a champion like Mithrala brings would be great. But I decided to go with good old Vrask, a very simple champion. All he does is heal every time that he touches somebody. But it's really nice. He actually heals a lot, as you can see, which is imperative here because we have a support who can't heal. All right, so a big ignore 50% defense swing comes through. They do freeze one of our champions, so Dark Elhain does instantly activate that A2. Will this team survive? I don't even know. I didn't even test it ahead of time. So we go in there. You can see he lands the freeze on the minion, which is nice. Another hit comes down from Clyasis. Is that how you say his name? Clyasis? Ice Golem? No? All right, here we go. Pounded away with that A1, making sure that minion is good and frozen, which is great because we don't want those heal reductions from the minions, let alone all the other debuffs that they bring. Most importantly, we don't want the 100% ignore defense from the Ice Golem if they're both standing when he does those big swings and the wind up and the hits on our champions. So we did get the resist there from Dark Elhain's Death Majesty, the decreased speed on the Ice Golem, which we do not like at all. Look at those nice heals coming down from the back-to-back turns of the Relentless set on our Vrask, helping to keep the team alive. Most importantly, keep Glaicad alive. You can see he's actually kind of low on health here. You can't die in your big spotlight, man. Ooh, if we get the extra turn, it's clutch. That's 20,000 extra HP. You know what I'm thinking right now? I'm thinking about what I said to you guys the last thing before we left the build a moment ago. We're a little low on the defense on this dude, and it shows in an area like this. So, learn from my mistakes. I could cut this and I could fix it, but I want you guys to learn as well, right? So let's see if we can still actually pick up the dub here. We might be able to. We still have our burner and burn activator still alive in Frenzy. So let's see what she can do here. Heal reduction. Ooh, we just need one turn on that Ice Golem, but the heal oh, we get it. Oh, we get it. All right, so Glaicad, what did we learn? We learned that my man needs more defense against Ice Golem Hard 10. So I think what I would do, just like in real life, so I'm going to do it with you guys right now, is I can't have my Reviver dying that easily. Sure, he's got a boatload of HP, but I need some defense. So I'm actually going to go ahead, before we go into Hydra, I'm going to make a change. I already get the 80% HP from the gauntlets anyway. So he's already going to have 80k HP. I can't have him with 2,900 or whatever he had on defense. So I'm going to set defense as my high priority. I'm going to go to equipped. I'm going to go see what I have for protection gear. I'm also going to put speed as a high priority. So let's see on the protection sets, what do we have? We're not going to take off Siffi's gear. So we have this. Defense, accuracy, speed, some HP. I think this is going to make a big difference, getting that up to 3,800. I think that's going to be a lot better. All right, so let's go to Hydra Clan Boss now that we've made that alteration. All right, guys, Hydra Clan Boss time. Let's go brutal difficulty. I have this team all set up. I have Glaicad, I have Lammasu, I I have Whisper and Ninja as my DPS, Bivald of the Thorn as my Provoker. He's also going to be the healer on this team. And then we have Lydia. The question is the heals from Bivald of the Thorn, will that be enough, right? He does have the heal and the shield, albeit on a 4-turn cooldown. The cool thing is he also brings Leech. He can land all that on weak hits too. So let's just test it out for a little bit here, and then we'll do a quick battle and see if this team can make it the duration, right? So Glaicad's going to be the first to go. Going to go in. Going to start debuffing here. And we're going to start ninja-ing. And then we're going to land the block buffs and decrease speed beautifully on Lammasu. And then we are going to provoke the Head of Decay. And then we're going to start getting some Whisper, right? Decrease defense, weaken. Let's just start poking over there. Whisper is nasty. Get that extra turn. And then boom. 418. We'll take it. We'll take it. Let's go with the A3 now. Get the extra turn. Now, keep in mind, everybody's going to be doing more damage because they're under the veils and the perfect veils, which is great. Let's go Ninja here. And then let's go... So let's give it to Whisper. Let's give it to Whisper, the full reset. Go right back in there with the double hitter, with the single hitter. Doing some nice damage, but nothing out of this world yet. Let's go with that A3 there that we talked about. Nice shield from Bivald of the Thorn, huh? Keep it going. Obviously mitigated by the block buffs. Who do you guys think is going to be the damage dealer lead here on this squad? Probably. Is it going to be Ninja? Or is it going to be Whisper? What do you guys think? All right. So the main reason I wanted to keep you guys with me here is to just kind of check and see. I'm going to put on auto for a moment here. I'm trying to check and see like how the survivability is. How long. We talked about it like on paper. It's like, yeah, we can get a lot out of the... Let's check out Whisper's damage. You can see that damage starting to escalate there, right? On paper, it's like, yeah, we can get those turn durations up, and it's going to be amazing. But sometimes when you take a champion into battle, things can be different. It doesn't seem to be the case here. It seems to be this team is very, very nicely balanced. We have all the debuffs and all the buffs that we need. And survivability seems to be going just fine. I mean, honestly, having Bivald the Thorn, he was kind of like, I was like, who's going to be my provoker on this team? Because I needed a provoker who also has a lot of support, right? So I think that Bivald ended up being the perfect choice because he's able to keep everybody topped off between the heal, the leech, and the shield. So they seem to be a very nice complement together, honestly, having these sort of champions together. And so far, the damage is going to get a lot better as we go. But the damage is good considering the turn count overall, right? And look at those Whisper just doing her thing there, right? When Whisper and Ninja start cooking, that's when things just start to get nasty in terms of the overall damage. But, oh, man, overall, we'll take a look at the quick battle results in a moment here. But keep in mind all that extra damage that we're getting from the protection set. And again, the extra 10% damage while they're under the perfect veil, which does seem to be the case more often than not. So another 10% extra damage. As I said earlier, it all adds up. And again, the team is like synergizing very nicely here. Now, there's all sorts of changes that you can make depending on the champions that you have on a team like this, right? We could sneak in an Estrid in there. Maybe an Ugo. An Estrid and an Ugo are a great combo if you have both those champions because they have the decreased defense, the weaken the block buffs, the increase speed, the decreased speed, right? For a Lammasu. Lammasu, bro? Lammasu? Did I just drop a Lammasu on you? I did. All right. Let's end it. I still get scared to this day when I end the battle. Like, I'm going to be able to free regroup, right? Whisper. 8 mil. Ninja, 10 mil. Not bad. All right, let's free regroup, and let's run this damn thing and just see what happens. Can we survive? Find out right now. Oh, hell yeah, we can. Not bad. Not bad at all. Whisper with 84 million damage. Ninja with 103 million. And the thing about Glaicad is it's never going to show up on the stat sheet what he brings to the table, right? It's all those buffs. It's the revive if we need it. It's tough to say if we need it or not. I don't know. But it's everything. Again, at the end of the battle, you're not going to be blown away by this dude. It's everything that he's bringing. The damage increase inherently built in, especially with that protection as well. Guys, that is going to do it for this guide. Let me know what you think of this champion. Is he a top reviver in the game? I'm not saying the best, but is he in the conversation? To me, he is. Congratulations if you have him. Where else do you use him? We only highlighted him in a couple areas in this video, but really his versatility is one of his biggest strengths. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. As always, take care, guys.